today we are going to discuss about the most important document that anybody who wants to join taxi business as a driver must think about right now. There are so many other documents that are required, but they are very easy to obtain. And the document we are going to discuss today, which I have seen it being a roadblock, being a very huge obstacle to many people driving taxi, is the driving license. And driving license can be an obstacle in two main ways. First of all, your driving license must be 2 years old or more. Okay? So a lot of people who come to drive taxi, they come from different backgrounds. Maybe someone has lost their jobs yesterday and they come to me asking, oh, we don't have an income, but we have a small car. I would like to enroll and start driving. And then I ask him, when did you get your driving license? He tells me 6 months ago. And I tell him, my brother, my sister, you cannot drive until your driving license is 2 years old since the time you obtained it. So that is the biggest obstacle. So if you are considering at some point in the future, or if you are seeing some potential in you being an active participant in taxi driving, you must get your driving license right now so that you start accumulating the 2 years of experience that is required. And these 2 years, they don't have to be like you are actively driving. Okay, the only thing that is needed is that since the day you got your driving license, the first day, it must finish 2 years before you can be considered to become a taxi driver. So that is the first thing. And I also want to talk about what a mistake that so many people do. It is what we call the interim. Okay? The interim DL. So many people, once they complete their driving lesson, they never apply to get the official driving license because you are doing this driving class in hope that one day you will buy a vehicle or one day you will become a driver. So many people do it just while they wait. So when you pass your driving license, you are given an interim driving certificate for 1 month. And once it expires, you are required to go and apply for the actual driving license. So there are different application periods. You can take an application for 1 year and for 3 years. But if you never applied for your driving license after the expiry of your interim, your 2 years don't count. Okay, so there are people who did their driving school 5 years ago and then they just went because they had no need to drive at that point. And then when they are coming to me and we check from eCitizen how many years of driving experience they have, it is still at zero because they never applied for the driving license. So my advice to anyone, immediately you finish your driving class and you pass your exam, apply to obtain your driving license and then forget about it, because it is at that point that now the 2 years of required driving time is calculated. But if you never go for your driving license, then your interim DL does not count as part of the 2 years experience that is required. So let's get to point number 3. Why driving license is also a very big headache as compared to other documents that you can watch on my channel, or maybe that I can do another video to just add on to this. Okay, why driving license is an obstacle is because the driving license that you have, let's assume that you have the 2 years of experience that is required. You did not fall into the trap of staying under the interim driving license. The thing is, right now when you go into a driving school, you will either obtain what we call a B1 or a B2. I need to verify which among this is automatic and the other one is for manual vehicle. So there is an option for that. So if you want to go into a driving school and just focus on B1 automatic or B2 manual, or the other, I need to confirm which is which, you can do that. So a lot of driving licenses that everybody has for what we call private saloon Okay. For private saloon is B1 or B2. These two are not enough for you to start driving Uber. You need to go back to class again after you have achieved number 1 and get what we call B3. All right? And this is what we call public saloon. So you can drive the small vehicles up to 9-seaters for public service. So again, what is required is that you go back to school again for a period of 1 month so that you can be reminded of the theory classes, because in any case, you have been a driver for a minimum of 2 years. So we assume, or the government assume, that you already know how to drive. But because now you are not going to be carrying members of your family, you are going to carry people that you don't know who they are. So it is expected that you need to be reminded of the basic basic driving rules and regulations, as well as road signs, so that you are up to date, because you will be carrying more people, you'll be traveling more distance, you'll be on the road more frequent than before. And if there are some signs that you had forgotten, you need to go and get reminded. And again, you'll have to sit for an exam, and you have to pass that exam so that you get your B3 license. Okay, so let me rub a few things here, and then we wind up. So today I'm not going to keep you for a long time. So we have said number 1 is the regular. So regular DL is what we call B1 and B2. Okay, so here you need to go and now get what we call an endorsement. Endorsement is now the B3, which is the taxi driving category. And once you have this, because you see, this is adding up. I have told you this, you need to go back to school for 1 month, because if you go to a driving class, even if you know how to drive, you know everything, you cannot sit for an exam before 21 working days. Okay, so for me, this is critical. You cannot come to me and tell me you want to start driving the next week. At least you have to go back to school, you wait for 21 days plus the other 2 years. You see, this driving license, you cannot treat it as emergency when you want to become a taxi driver. So my advice to you is that take your time, look at the situation of your driving license right now, and make it fit into the category that will help you drive. And once you have this, once you have the B3, you are as good as a taxi driver, because after B3, but I'll do another video probably, you go and apply what we call PSV badge. Okay, PSV badge, and it is what we call instant. So you click on eCitizen on your portal, you click apply for PSV badge, make payment 1,050 shillings, and immediately you have your PSV badge in your eCitizen platform that you can download and get it immediately. So in our next video, we are going to talk about the second most important document when you want to join the taxi business. Guess which? Share your comments in the comment section below, and see you in my next video.